Hello, howdy, and hi! Welcome to Mass Effect Andromeda. I have been playing the ever-loving hell out of this game for the last week and a half. 2 weeks now, I would say. And I am really enjoying this game. There are some issues. I don't find them to be necessarily all that bad, but, you know, do your research before you buy the game. I would personally suggest waiting until some of the patches for some of the bigger stuff have come out before really buying it, unless you're just really into Mass Effect like, I am. But I'm a huge nerd, and we all know this. So, Mass Effect Andromeda is probably my favorite BioWare game that has been released to date. And I know that's not a very popular opinion among YouTubers or people on the internet, but there are some facial animation issues. There are some bugs with quests, and there are some other minor issues with the game. To me, they're relatively minor. But it's a large, open-ish world game, and I have yet to see one released without bugs and issues. And this has been the least buggy open world-ish game that has been released as far as I have seen. So I think it's worth the buy right now, but if you are kind of worried about some of the bugs, I would suggest waiting until some of the patches, maybe a few months down the line. But it is a really good game. It's very solid. The combat is excellent. The gameplay itself is very smooth, and it's just a blast. But I wanted to throw this video together to show the build that I was using in my prior video and kind of lay out the groundwork for how it's going to proceed into the future. Now that all that's out of the way, let's get into the build itself. And into the build itself, it actually starts in character customization. This is a semi-role-playing build. I base this around how I personally view what a soldier-ish type character in the Mass Effect universe, just your baseline kind of grunt, would have, some of the abilities that they would have. And I can get into more on why I decided that when I get into the powers themselves. But the reason this starts in character customization is you get to choose an initial training. 6 different almost background type of options here. Like, for example, the operative training selection. For gameplay purposes, it gives you the starting power of Tactical Cloak, which is one of the unlocked skills, along with Combat Fitness, but we'll get into more of the other skills later. But the reason this is important is Tactical Cloak and pretty much all of the other abilities in here are gated. For example, Operative, the Tactical Cloak, normally you would have to put 9 points into the tech tree to even be able to unlock it before you can use it. So if you want to play an infiltrator using Cloak, you would want to start with the Operative because it gives you Tactical Cloak from the word go. Once you get to around level 6, 7 or higher, this really doesn't become too much of an issue. But I went with the leader perk simply because it gives you energy drain to start. And energy drain is, in my opinion, one of the best powers in the game. And I'll go into why when I start describing how I evolved the thing and everything else. Back into the skill tree, and I'll show you what I've got going on. And into the meat of the build we go. We're going to start in the tech tree with energy drain, since that is the skill that you unlock with the leader background. It starts out as a combo detonator, and combos are a large part of this build. It's not the focus of this build. This is more of a generalist build where the powers support your weapons and your weapons support your powers. So you try and increase your combo damage as much as you can, your power damage as much as you can, while also increasing your weapon power and usability. So rank 1 just gives you the energy drain itself, and it's a very useful skill and a very useful survivability skill because every time you use it, it refills a portion of your shields. 10% recharge speed, let's let you use it more often. You get more shields restored and more damage. More recharge speed again is always nice. Extended drain is where things start to get fun because now it turns it into a primer as well as a detonator. It also gives you a little bit more shield restoration, but at this point it's almost hardly even needed. Incinerate is the second power, and it starts off as a combo primer. More recharge speed, more damage. Burning damage with 30% duration gives you more DOT. More initial damage is always nice. And at rank 6, you can spec it to become a detonator. So with just 2 skills, you now have 2 primers and 2 detonators. Early game, before you unlock all of this, however, your main problem is going to be shielded enemies because this is a detonator. Incinerate is a primer, but the burning effect doesn't work against shields. So against shielded enemies early on, you would use energy drain to strip their shields, plus some weapons, and then you would cast an Incinerate, which, once the shields are stripped, sets them on fire. You can use Throw, which is one of the best pure detonators in the game, to detonate the fire combo. So with this setup here, you're constantly getting combos, you're constantly refilling your shields with energy drain, you're constantly stripping shields with tech combos, more fire explosions with Incinerate. I mean, it's a very good combo setup. In the tech tree, again, we're going to go into some of the passives. Offensive tech is the primary passive that I would choose. Some of the others have some good stuff too, but this one's got more along the way. You get more power damage with your tech combos, so you can strip more shields and do more damage with Incinerate. Faster recharge speeds, more detonator damage. For rank 4, I really don't need the plus 20 damage to shields. I've already got a decent amount of shield stripping ability with energy drain and tech combos. And some of the bigger, badder, nastier enemies in the game are just huge piles of armor hit points. So having a 20% extra damage to armor is certainly nice. And then you can get 30% more tech damage bonus for detonations. Rank 6 is not quite as interesting to me in this passive. Technical rounds could be nice. You get a 30% weapon damage bonus, but it's for 5 seconds after using a tech power. So it's a little more situational. I mean, I'm throwing tech powers around a lot, so I will have access to this ability or this damage bonus quite often. But there are some other passives that I really think deserve more focus, at least early on. Barrier is a huge survivability upgrade. Not only does it give you better shields, better shield regeneration delay, more shields again, Biotic Clarity. Rank 5 is not all that great, but you do get a little bit faster movement speed while your shields are active, a little bit of weapon weight capacity. The Biotic Power Shield cost reduction, that doesn't affect me at all because none of my biotic abilities are set to use shield instead of a cooldown. But if you do that, this could help a little bit. Saving Barrier at rank 6, however, that's almost a game changer. Since I use Energy Drain to refill my shields, I'm quite often at full shields almost all the time. But there are definitely times if you make a mistake in positioning, and on higher difficulties, you'll be punished for that much more than on normal or whatever. You can easily have your shield stripped very quickly and start taking a lot of health damage. With rank 6 of barrier, once your health reaches 25%, your shields are refilled to full. And that can give you a brief moment to evade and get yourself into cover, let your shields fully recover, cast a few tech abilities, get yourself into a bit of a better position. Throw, eventually I want to rank it all the way up here to rank 6 for swift detonation, for more detonation damage and more recharge speed. But again, I have other priorities to start with, but rank 5 recharge and rank 6 swift detonation is definitely going to be part of this. Offensive biotics, again, is for a little later down the line, but it is certainly nice. You get more damage, more recharge speed, more detonator damage bonus, so that will help out with throw. Rank 4, I would probably go with the clarity for the recharge speed. I really don't have any damaging biotic abilities. Throw, it doesn't have a damage on its own. But rank 5 of detonator, yes. 40% all combo radiuses, 25% more damage, definitely. Rank 6, probably not really needed on this build. There's really not a whole lot here that would benefit. Plus 15% weapon damage bonus, but that's for 3 seconds after using a biotic power, so yeah, not really all that interesting. Containment, there's really nothing here that would affect my build at all, so this one might be nice though. 50% all combo damage versus shields, so we'll see. So that's pretty much where I'm going to be in biotics. Tech, I've gone over everything. Now into the combat tree. I don't take any of the active abilities, but there are a lot of really nice passives. Combat fitness is really nice. You get more health, more shields. You get an extra holster for a third weapon, plus 25% weight capacity, so you can carry that weapon without incurring a cooldown penalty. Rank 4 regeneration is nice. You get plus 20% regeneration cap, more regeneration itself, and more shield regeneration. This is probably the focus of my next couple of levels, would be to get heavy lifting for larger clip size and more weapon spare ammo. And you'll see why when I show you the weapons. They tend to be fairly low ammo weapons. Rank 6 in the trenches, it will be what I pick, but I might put that off a little bit. We'll see. You have a regen delay reduction while in cover of 50%, and you get 100 extra damage resistance while in cover. And that's certainly not going to hurt anything whatsoever, because if you saw my short gameplay video, you can see I tend to stay fairly mobile, but I do use cover quite a bit. Into the pistol tree, if you're going to use one weapon or one weapon group, I would suggest pistols, because there are a couple of really nice weapons within this tree. Rank 1 gives you more damage, rank 2 more accuracy, rank 3 more accuracy while you're moving. Rank 4 gives you more spare ammo. I really don't need the added pistol weight. With the other passives I've taken, I have plenty of weight capacity for the loadout I tend to use. So spare ammo is always nice. Having a clip size is always nice. Pistols reload quickly as it is. You really don't need an extra 15% reload speed. Having more ammo in the clip so you don't have to reload as often is better, in my opinion. Rank 6 is pretty much up to you. I tend to aim more rather than hip fire, so having the targeting assistance, you get 20% pistol damage while aiming. If you tend to hip fire more often, you get 20% pistol damage while you're not using the aim function. So it's just onto your play style. Assault rifles, pretty much the same deal. More damage, more accuracy, more rifle stability. Again, I don't need the extra weight, so I go with more extra spare ammo. Rank 5, I will definitely be taking the assault rifle clip size because the one I use reloads fairly quickly as it is. Rank 6, I will definitely be picking up critical hits. It's not a must-have at this point, but it will definitely help because you get 25% assault rifle headshot weak point bonus damage, and you get plus 15% accuracy and stability. So that's certainly nothing to sneeze at. Combat tools, there's really nothing here that I think would benefit my build, and that's pretty much it. And that tech, I think I've gone over everything. Auxiliary, yeah, there's not a whole lot in the auxiliary systems I really want. So I want to finish out team support for life support for the 50% regeneration cap plus faster regen bonus. Good way to refill your health. I think I mentioned that, but just in case I didn't, I'll mention it again. And that's pretty much where things are sitting. On to the weapons I tend to use. Because like I said, my weapons play into my powers, and my powers play into my weapons. For shields and just kind of all general purpose goodness, I use the Hornet because it is light, it's fast, it's very stable, it's very easy to control, and it does a decent amount of damage. It's a 3-round burst weapon, and the 3 rounds come out fairly quickly. And they tend to all hit in the same area. If you're aiming for the head and you fire a 3-round burst, pretty much all 3 rounds are going to hit the head. So you're basically doing 249 damage with 1 trigger pull, which is quite nice for a pistol. You don't have a whole lot of spare ammo though, so that's why the passives for spare ammo are definitely going to help improve the situation. Right now I have a pistol extension mod, so I have a decent amount of rounds in the clip, but having more, again, never hurts. And again, fast firing weapon, really good against shields. The Sidewinder is my other favorite pistol. This is a semi-automatic. It throws out large slugs, does 149 damage per trigger pull, and it's a fairly fast firing semi-automatic. You can do a lot of damage fairly quickly. The only real issue with it is base, you only have 6 shots per clip, so you're reloading a lot. So any kind of magazine extension mod, any kind of magazine extra ammo for passives are pretty much a must with this weapon. But since it's a semi-automatic, fairly fast firing, fairly accurate, I use a pistol scope to improve the accuracy. It does a lot of damage to the bigger, well-armored enemies, along with, you know, the incinerate and fire combos. Last but not least, we have the Sandstorm, which is a semi-automatic assault rifle with an integral scope. It's basically a dedicated marksman rifle. It is very accurate, very stable, very consistent, and very easy to control. I love this weapon. And 210 damage per trigger pull is not bad at all. Fairly decent rate of fire. Major problem, it's got a small clip size. And this is with a magazine extension mod. And it doesn't have a whole lot of spare ammo outside of the magazine. So that's why I go into the combat tree and gain some of the passives for clip size and extra ammo. But between these 3 weapons, I have a decent amount of stopping power, and I have a decent amount of ammo. If I run low on one, I can switch to another. And my general purpose weapon, the Hornet, it does have a decent amount of spare ammo. It's not great, but you've got enough to where you can get into an engagement and grab a couple of, or kill a few enemies, and still have a decent spare, decent amount of ammo if you run into some more enemies before you can reload. But even then, you have the Sidewinder and you have the Sandstorm for backup weapons in case you need them. So that's pretty much it, where the build is planning on going, the weapons that I use. Oh, armor. I forgot to mention. Armor is something that I'm still playing with. Right now, I'm using the Helios Defender. Well, Helios Champion, but it gives me more power damage, more weapon damage, and more damage resistance. I've put some augmentations on it. I get 25% shields for every enemy I kill, which is really nice. A 2% all combo damage, another one, and then a +2 shield regeneration for a little bit more survivability. And I have the fusion mod of shielding, which gives me more shielding at the expense of some of my health. But since I have so much shield regeneration capability, I tend not to have my shields broken. So that's pretty much how I've got this set right now. But armor, there are a couple of different options. And last but not least, profiles. One of the main reasons that I went with Throw as a pure combo detonator, concussion shot in the combat tree would work just as well. And in many ways I would prefer to use it simply because, you know, like I said earlier, more of an RP build, what a typical soldier grunt, mainline grunt type of character would be. Concussion shot would fit that better. However, the Sentinel, it really gives me all of the things I'm looking for. It gives me combo damage, more attack recharge speed, more power restoration and defense, and it absorbs a significant amount of whatever damage gets past your shields. So it's a very strong survivability profile. The Soldier would definitely be a good one as well because you get weapon damage, weapon accuracy, you get more clip size and damage resistance. So the Soldier profile is a very strong one as well. Really good potential for this. But I like the Sentinel, plus the tech armor looks cool. So there's this. I will more than likely be getting myself into a couple of fights and recording just a little bit of gameplay footage of the build in action so you can see it. And I will likely be recording that on hardcore difficulty just to see how well this build holds up on hardcore. And I hope you enjoy it. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you again soon.
This is resonating now. Probably with the vault. Got 'em all.
Remnant scourge site. But something's in there.
And there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. That's my Sentinel build, pretty much in a nutshell. Like I said, I'm level 26. You just saw me gain a level on that last encounter. I've got a ways to go with some of the passives and stuff, but the basics of the build is already there. And just to show, because, you know, some people want proof, I did wind up setting it to hardcore. I hope you guys have enjoyed this build. I hope you've enjoyed the video. Thanks for watching, and I will see you again soon.